One of my favorite people. And by the way, I'm going to paint a picture here because I knew this gal when, okay? Mm-hmm. She was just starting out in TV. And I told you guys earlier on the story that I worked at a radio station that owned the FM station, the AM station, and the TV station. And the gal's name is Ashleigh Banfield. We have her on the line. Ashleigh, how are you doing?
Lamont, Hollywood, my old friend, and I accentuate the old.
That's right. Now, let me say this. Now, I knew you when you were just now, what is the correct name? A cub reporter, would that be right?
Yeah, I mean, green as the evergreens in the Rockies. I think I was only 5 months into the business.
That is correct.
Wow.
And now look at you. And I'm going to give a plug here for the brand new show. It's called Banfield, and it debuts tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern. That's 7 o'clock our time. I'm so happy it's on at 7 o'clock. That way I can watch you because I won't fall asleep. It's on News Nation, which, by the way, is the old WGN, the superstation that they're rebranding this. Why are they rebranding this to News Nation now, Ashleigh?
You know what, Lamont? It's time that Americans had a news channel that didn't have a whole bunch of eye-rolling and sneering and opinion and bias. And so we decided we needed to launch a 24-hour news channel that was all facts, no opinion. Go figure. You know?
Right.
Like, I can't even believe I have to say that about news, but nowadays you do.
Nowadays you do.
Nowadays you do.
So here's the deal. Your new show is an hour-long show, and it brings back the format like Larry King, where you're going to talk to one guest for the hour, get to know that one guest. Are you going to wear suspenders like Larry?
I decided against the suspenders, and I decided to not wear glasses. So I'm following his format, but tweaking it.
Yeah, now, I'm glad you brought up the glasses, because when I knew you back at CKY TV, you were just starting out in the business, and you didn't wear glasses. And then I saw you wearing glasses. You went to, and I don't want to give every stop along the way, because you went from Winnipeg, you went to another Canadian city, and then you went to Dallas, and then you went to CNN, I think, and then you were at
NBC first.
You went to NBC first. You went to NBC in New York first. And by the way, I just want to say this. When you were working in Winnipeg, I was telling the guys at work, I go, man, this gal is too talented to be doing what she's doing at this station. And I would have put you on hosting, like being an anchor. But do you find, well, take a look at your career. You ended up working at NBC in New York and CNN. And now this WGN News Nation.
You know what, though? I don't know if you even know this, Lamont, or maybe I cried in your DJ booth one day about it. But I got a job as a part-timer first.
Right.
I was filling in for someone on maternity leave, and I was allowed to be a reporter, and I was, shaking in my boots about it, right?
Right.
And then that person came back, and all of a sudden the only job that was available was the file clerk. So that's the only job that they had for me. And so they took me off the air and made me the file clerk. And I was like cutting articles out of newspapers and putting them in manila folders in big filing cabinets. And I remember thinking like, well, I guess this is the way it's going to be.
Oh, man, that's rough.
And by the way, so I'm watching this going, they had anchors working there that had been there for like 40 years, 50 years. And like one lady might have been 75 years of age. And it was basically, she wasn't fit to be on TV. Why would someone not have said to you, listen, we're going to put you in even on the weekend and do something like this? That you were forced to go to another market after that. Yeah,
well, it wasn't forced, but I mean, definitely, you look for your opportunities, right? And I think the truth of it is, if I were my boss back then, I'd have had me nowhere near the TV.
No, you were good on the air, though. That's the thing. I think I even had you on my show a few times.
Yeah, you did. I remember that. I was so nervous too. But I think you got to make a lot of mistakes in small places, before you really take on the responsibility of, people putting their trust in you, right? And so
right.
They had no business putting me on the air at age 20 or 21 at that time. And so it took a lot of stops along the way to figure it all out. And I've got to say, at 53, I'm still figuring it out. So
now let me ask you this. With all the different jobs you've ended up performing on TV and all the reporting and then anchoring, what is the weirdest thing that you've ever had to do while in the field reporting? What's the weirdest thing you've seen?
Oh, this is going to be a bit of a downer, but I was at a checkpoint in Afghanistan, just outside of Kabul. And it was probably about 2 a.m. because that's when we had to broadcast, right?
Yeah.
That's the time zone. And I was in the passenger seat, which is the opposite side of the car that we're used to.
Right.
And the checkpoints were manned by a bunch of 16, 17, 18-year-old Taliban hopped up on heroin. And they were Taliban who just had taken their turbans off, so they pretended not to be because the
right.
Taliban had been wrecked. And they had these knockoff AKs, Kalashnikovs, really fashioned, in the woods kind of thing. And these guys were so high and so they had no sensibilities, human sensibilities. And they would put a gun to your head all the time. So I also had to negotiate with a knockoff Kalashnikov and a stoned teenager at my window, and I learned to speak the local language, Pashto, at least a couple of funny lines. So I'd start cracking jokes, and I kept thinking how on earth is this real right now? I'm cracking jokes in a foreign language to try to get the guy to take that Kalashnikov off my temple.
Oh, my God. I think at that point, Chasta, would you have not just turned around and said, it's time for me to go home?
Oh, yeah. No, it would have changed careers immediately.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But I think the weird thing is it became normal. I think at the time I should have had a bigger epiphany, get the heck out of here. But it just became kind of part of the hassle of breaking curfew to get between checkpoint and safe place,
Well, I will tell you this, an incredible career. And Baby Hugh is giving me a wrap-up sign here, but you are welcome on our airwaves any day of the week. Seriously, if you want to plug something,
I would
more than welcome.
I would love it. Because you are just such a special person in my life, honestly, Lamont. And when I say Lamont, I know your real name, and
yes.
when we're on the phone together, I always use your real name. So
yeah.
I say Lamont Diego. But you're just a very special person because you were the biggest, most famous star that I met. When I came to CKY in Winnipeg, and I remember being just sort of, starstruck. And then we became friends, and I was still starstruck because I followed your career, and I thought, man, that guy can do no wrong. So I'm just glad that we're reunited, and this many years later, nothing's changed. We're both total goofballs.
Exactly. And that's why I love you. All right. The great Ashleigh Banfield premiere tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock our time, and it's now known as the News Nation Network. It's the Superstation, WGN, but News Nation. Love you, Ashleigh. You're welcome anytime.
Love you back.
All right, there we go. The great Ashleigh Banfield.
Oh, that was incredible.
Right?
She said you're special. She's got that right.
I'll tell you what. Well, I could have asked about her mom and everything because I knew her mom.
I know. That's so
I met
crazy.
her mom. I can give you guys the whole dirt.
That's amazing. I love it.
Right? There you
she's
go.
A sweetheart.
Oh, no. She the most fun person you'll ever meet.
That's so cool.
Ready to rock and roll, go to any show. She really knew how to party.
Dude, that story, a gun to her head? Are you joking
That's
me?
crazy.
I would never have. I would have crapped my pants right there in the car and say, shoot me.
Yeah. First flight out of there. Bye.
Absolutely. Yeah.